and how to help our new professors and help the others to pass this difficult situation.
Thank you very much, Artur. Thank you. That's great. I think this is really a main topic and the main mission for this workshop. Thank you very much. Now, Anna Alexanyan from Yerevan is actually currently in Graz. We've met recently. Dear Anna, can you hear us? And what would be your expectations on the workshop?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. I'm Anna Alexanyan from Yerevan State University. I'm associate professor at the Department of Educational Sciences of the Center of Pedagogy and Education Development. And also, meantime, I'm visiting professor at Karl Franzens University of Graz. And now at this moment, I'm here in Graz. So we have gained huge knowledge during our last trainings at FA, Joanneum, and about hybrid and blended teaching and learning. Especially for me, was very successful training about e-moderation, and now I'm applying this effectively during my courses. And so my expectation from this meeting is about the same, which said Arthur, how we can solve the problems during online learning. So I would get new tools and new deliverables, how we can use this huge experience, the teaching experience during poor online teaching and learning. So it was my expectation.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Also, it's very interesting. I'm excited about the discussion which you mentioned, how we can keep the students to learn online effectively. It's also very important how we can motivate them online.
Yeah, thank you very much, dear Anna. I think there are probably several problems, many problems connected to online teaching. We cannot address them all today, but we can focus on some of them, and we will, exchange some ideas on how to solve some of the problems that could occur. Thank you so much, Anna Alexanyan. Now, the next person on my list would be Liana Gabrielian from Yerevan State University.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you again in this PRINTeL room. I'm Liana Gabrielian from Yerevan State University. I am teaching chemistry, particularly physical chemistry and quantum chemistry. Already we're starting only offline courses in our department, but this 1 year experience in online teaching schools, it gives us a lot of knowledge about these problems, all difficulties with this online teaching, particularly in natural sciences, because it was really very difficult to undergo this. But it gives us, and not only us, also students, this flexibility to become more flexible in all situations and overcome all these difficulties. And I'm expected that this course will give me more knowledge, more new tools to enlarge my understanding in teaching and give more effective teaching in courses.
Thank you very much, dear Liana. Actually, my son is a student of physics, and he also was coping with labs, doing labs at home. So yeah, it's good that you have some offline also in the Department of Natural Sciences. I understand this is crucial. Thank you very much, dear Liana. Now, Christina Kudaverdian. Christina, are you here?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
My name is Christina Kudaverdian. I am from Yerevan, from National Polytechnic University of Armenia. I work as a lecturer of the course Basics of Information Protection, and also as a conductor of laboratory work of cryptographic and steganographic data protection at Information Security and Software Department. Enrollment in this training would be a great opportunity for me to upgrade my knowledge on online teaching and learning. Online training of the trainers is a great opportunity for me to lecture from different countries and who are interested in the same field to exchange the experience. And I am sure the participation and training of the trainers will be good combination of practice and theory, letting enhance my knowledge, skills, and contribute to my future step in hybrid blended learning.
Thank you very much, dear Christina. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we will try to combine the theory and the practice and hopefully provide some new tools. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, Susanna Kotikian from the same university. Susanna, are you here?
Me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm Susanna Kotikian from National Polytechnic University of Armenia. I am specialized in chemical technology. I am associated professor. And what do I expect from the courses? I think very much. I'm a new member and have some experiments, have some excitements, but I think that I will overcome everything. Today, online learning plays a very important role in our lives, and skills in these teachings is very important, both from both teachers and students. And I think that by taking these courses, I will improve my quality and of teaching, and I hope to get more knowledge and experience in teaching. And I think that I have a lot of friends from different countries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, dear Susanna. Indeed, I think really like this community of practice, which will hopefully also survive the project, will be a good way to maintain the relationship that we established through this project. Thank you very much, Susanna. Now we're coming to Banastor State University, Arin Danielian. Hello, please switch on your microphone, Daniel. Arin, sorry. You're still muted.
Okay. Hi to everybody.
Now it's working.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Sorry, because technological problems maybe. So I'm Marina Danela. I'm from Banazor. I am an assistant professor in foreign languages and literature. So I teach and say that these innovative methods helped me very much, and I want to say thank you to Graz colleagues, to my Graz colleagues, because they taught me some these innovative methods that I have been using during my online courses. I teach phonetics, because you know the English phonetics which with this methods, which should be offline and not online, but and it's a great opportunity, a great chance. And I do believe that this course will help us very much, and so much knowledge concerning these innovative methods, new thing. I do hope that during these 3 day course, we will gain much knowledge, and we will fulfill our knowledge concerning online innovative technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, dear Arin. Yeah, we will try to do our best in these 3 days. As you know, you're going to meet my colleague Clarissa tomorrow. She's going to focus on project-based learning. you may remember, those of you who were in Graz in November of 2018, you met my colleague Ligia, who was doing project-based teaching with you. And Ligia is currently not in Graz, she's in Brazil. So she went back home. But our colleague Clarissa, who does the same topic of project-based learning, will be with you tomorrow. And then you will also remember my dear colleague Natasha, and she will be with you on Friday. Okay, now the next person on my list would be Vanan Mirsoyan from the same university.
Hello to everyone. I'm Vanan Mirsoyan from Venezuela State University. I'm an associate professor of the Faculty of Pedagogy and Psychology. During the pandemic, all of us were had to switch to online process, and my knowledge helped me to conduct my lessons as I think very useful. And I hope that during these 3 days, we will share our experience that will help us to improve our lessons. And I hope that during these days, I knew also new methods, new instruments that will help to conduct our lessons more useful than previously.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we come to Georgia. Giga Kositashvili. I'm very sorry if I mispronounce your name. I'm sorry, but I've seen you, Gita.
Yeah, that's perfect again.
Okay.
So good afternoon. My name is Giga. I'm currently working at Ilia State University. I'm really happy that to see you once again. I was there back in 2018. So I'm working at Academic Writing Center and giving classes in academic writing. I have not had chance to teach like fully online courses before March 2020, but yeah, since that we are delivering classes fully online. So, but beside this, I'm also responsible for providing trainings to our academic staff at Ilia State University. And it means that I'm providing support to faculty members, both in using learning management system and different tools for delivering classes and like creating exams and finals and etc. So my expectation for this workshop is to get some new practice and experience that is being currently used at your university. Yeah, that's and looking forward to attending these sessions.
Thank you very much, Giga. Thank you. Good. Now, from the same university, we also have Archil Apashidze.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm also teaching at Ilia State University, like Giga. I'm associate professor in public administration. I haven't met my students for the last year also, like you, which was quite a stressful process for some of the students, but some of the students were very happy. Last time when we met in Graz, we didn't expect that COVID would change our lives, so we were planning to proceed slowly and implement the tools one by one. We expected that we would have some time, but it turned out that we had to change everything pretty quickly. So what I expect from the 3 days, next 3 days, is first of all to hear what other colleagues have experienced at their universities, and also I would like to hear more about some new tools that I can apply next semester, because my impression is that we'll probably have to spend the next semester again online.
Thank you, Achil. I think you stressed some very crucial points. Exactly, for all of us, it was a big leap, yeah? and very sudden, yeah.
Yes.
And we may have to continue teaching online in the future. And by the way, I think also this unexpected sudden change also provided us with some good learnings. And I do trust that in the future, we may apply more of online teaching, even so then we would be able to meet our students in the classroom. Because you may remember when we were working together in Graz in November of 2018, we already discussed that there are many benefits also for online teaching, because some students might prefer that because they can better maybe reconcile it with their family obligations, with their work. So it does have some advantages, and now we could discover some of the good tools that work fine with that. Thank you, Achille. Now from the same university, we should have two more colleagues. Elaine, please.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Elena Shurakova. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Hello. So I'm associate professor in biochemistry. So I want to thank PRINTeL and also your team for the last training. Since this training was most useful for me, I use almost all tools in my online courses, but I still have some gaps and challenges, mostly with lab works. And I want to let my colleagues, particularly in chemistry and physics labs, and also maybe will share some experience. And also I want to find some new activities and assessments activities for my students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Yeah, great. I hope that this day, and I'm sure the whole workshop will be supportive in that sense. Thank you very much, Elaine. Now we have Eka also. I think, yeah, you managed to log on. Yeah, hello, Eka.
Hello, everybody. I indeed managed to log on, but I still have some problem with the chat. I hope it will not damage my involvement in this process much. So I am professor of neurobiology at Ilia State University. I was a trainee of the group that was trained in 2018 with you. So I enjoyed their training a lot. I learned a lot with them, and suddenly in 2020, due to COVID-19, it came out that I had to use quite a lot of learned tools and use some skills. So I'm looking forward for this training as well, because I hope to get some new experience, learn new tools, and also to hear about the online learning experience from colleagues from other universities and countries. Thanks.
Thank you very much, dear Eka. Thank you. Now we come to Georgian Technical University, and there should be Saza Tsotniashvili.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm really very happy to meet you again and to have such a wonderful opportunity, especially during pandemic time, to improve my knowledge about online teaching and learning. My experience from Graz was really very helpful for me, for my colleagues. We used it not only during pandemic, but it gives me opportunity to participate in different international conferences about online teaching. We give recommendations about hybrid and online learning to our Ministry of Education. And during pandemic, I shared with my colleagues. I was invited in different universities for training, and I share my experience from Graz with them. And I use, especially during pandemic time, my knowledge about hybrid and online learning. I expect more from this online training. I think we all together are a good team to share each other our experiences and knowledges. Especially thank you for our trainers, and I think I will improve more and more my knowledge, because this is nowadays very important to be skillful in online teaching. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sasa. I'm glad that you could use the knowledge that you gained and also that you were able to share it with colleagues from other universities. That's great. Yeah. And sometimes I think it's also helpful to understand we are all sitting in the same boat. And it's good to know also that some of the challenges that we are facing are also faced by others. That as such may be encouraging and that we can search for solutions together. Thank you, Sasa. Now I would ask Nino Koluashvili to say a few words of introduction.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am
Nino
Koluashvili from Georgia, Technical University of Georgia, Tbilisi. I am invited lecturer law faculty. I was participated in your training course, which really was helpful and useful for me, because for us, for our university, it was really new things to change our classrooms, because in March we started study only online form. So I used, of course, but now I am try to improve myself, but in such trainings help us to hear and understand your experience, and according your training improve our methods, our teaching process, and of course then share my colleagues in my university. So I think this is very good chance for me and for my university too.
Thank you very much, dear Nino. Thank you. Yeah, I think we will share some of our experience and then all together grow a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Now, Tamar Mikeladze from Jakob Gogebashvili Tel Aviv State University, also in Georgia, I guess. Tamar?
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Glad to see you again. So I'm an associate professor at the Faculty of Education Sciences at Tel Aviv State University, and I give courses in English teaching methods and also in general English. And I have been teaching online since March 2020. I would like to mention that at the beginning, even though I had experience and also I have had training within this project and program, I still felt the frustration and doubts in the first semester of my online teaching because I wasn't sure. I had doubts that am I doing everything correctly, how my students felt, and also I felt drained during this online courses. And then in the second semester, I mean in this autumn semester, it was better, but still I think I need to know how to manage better the teaching process and how to especially how to work with the big number of students online, and if, when the courses have this practical, the focus is the practical skill, what kind of activities I can offer to students. Of course, there are a wide variety of this, but still I need to know this balance and how to manage. Because I think that there is a lot of room for improvement, and I can't be satisfied all the time with myself, and so I look for the improvement and for the progress. So this is my expectation, of course.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, dear Tamar. Actually, I think you mentioned very important points, but we should, as a teacher, we should not be too critical with ourselves. We should be probably, recognizing that we do our best, but it's a huge effort. On the one hand, we need to be the experts in our fields, whether it's natural science or law or languages. And then we need, as you said, Tamar, we need to manage the teaching and the learning process. And now it's with the new technologies, we need to get a little like security on this, yeah. But it requires a lot of flexibility also. And as you said, managing large student groups is really difficult so that you don't lose some of the students. I have 60 students. What I use a lot is actually that I form some groups among them and then they do peer coaching. Yeah. So that in large student groups, it works also offline, but especially online, that they are grouped in maybe 5 people together, and then they should exchange together, yeah. And so that nobody is kind of left behind, yeah. That the students support each other jointly. But then you also have to determine the process, how you do that, yeah. So indeed, yeah. I hope that we will address some of the issues that you need. Now we come to Belarus now with Galina Pusenkova. Dear Galina, are you available?
Yes, I'm available. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Very
Okay.
well.
Good afternoon, Doris, and all the participants. I represent Belarus, Minsk, Belarusian State University, Faculty of Social and Cultural Communications. I'm teaching language for students of physics. Unfortunately, I didn't participate in previous workshops in November 2018, and today I would like to join your group in order to get a lot knowledge and experience. The problems which are really important and interesting for me, because I faced while teaching, is how to organize teaching and learning process in the post-COVID period for all the participants of the process, teachers and students, how to do it successfully, because the future we will have, of course, it's a combination online and offline, yeah, blended learning. How to understand which content of the subject will be learned online and offline, and how to organize all these things successfully.
Thank you very much, Galina. Thank you. This is very good. So I'm happy that you joined us today. Thank you so much. Now, from the same university, from Belarusian State University, we should have Natalia Sayanova.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Or good morning, Natalia.
Good afternoon to everybody. It's very nice to meet you all, those people who were in Graz 2 years ago. And I can say that our experience about blended learning was very helpful during last year. I'm from the Belarusian State University. I'm the lecturer at the Faculty of Journalism. And in 2020, we had a lot of classes, of lectures online. And as for me, it's very important how to promote students' activity and responsibility during these lessons, these classes, because not everybody was successful, and there were different level of knowledge and of feedback from the students online. And so for me, this course is a possibility to improve my skills as a teacher, to help students to organize their activity and their interest to my subjects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natalia. I'm happy to see you again. You mentioned also some very important points, namely how to promote student activity. Just a short comment here. I think this is also difficult, especially if you have large groups. What I found in my own experience is, first of all, that it needs incentives. So I always give students also points that count for the mark or the grade if they are active, because we need to put a carrot in front of their head so that they go for the carrot and that they have an incentive that they are participating. And then also what I found is it's very important to be very encouraging and give them lots of feedback. This requires a lot of time also. Yeah, I think what you may have discovered probably is also online teaching requires more time resources, because we need to prepare more. Yeah, we need to invest more time in the preparation. And then also if we give the feedback, sometimes it's good to give written feedback, but if it's a critical feedback, it's better to have a face-to-face, at least via the screen. Yeah. So thank you very much, Natalia, and I hope that the workshop will be useful for you as well. Now from the same university, we have also Alla Zankovets. Alla, good afternoon or good morning.
Good morning, still morning. Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Alla Zankovets. I'm from Belarusian State University, and I teach Russian language to Belarusian and foreign students at philological faculty. I'm newbie here, so I'm glad to see you all of you. I would like to get some inspiration maybe and find out how my colleagues cope with teaching in the new environment, because we at Belarusian State University have been studying online almost 1 year. And sometimes it seems that we have no tools, no new ideas to do it better. So I hope we will find it at those workshops. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Alla. Thank you for joining us today and for the 3 days workshop. I hope that you will get some new ideas and some new tools. Now we move to Brest State Technical University, and the first person on my list would be Natalia Chetrebok.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Everybody hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm very glad to see everybody, my colleague and Doris. And my name is Natalia Chetrebok. I'm head of Management, Economic and Finance Department in Brest State Technical University. And what I expect by this training, I expect pleasant communication with my colleague. I expect learn more innovative methods, teaching methods. And of course, I'm very interested to have more knowledge how my colleague overcoming pandemic situation in university, how they study, work with students, how they decide these problems, which we have, I think, every university during last year and this year too. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Natalia. I'm happy to see you again.
Yes.
And indeed, I think it should be a good forum for exchange. Yeah, thank you so much. Now, from the same university, there will also be Tatiana Shalabipa. Tatiana? Can you hear us? From the Faculty of Civil Engineering?
Yes, my colleague today in 11 o'clock have lessons, but maybe she will come a little bit later.
Come a little later. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Natalia, for letting us know. And now we have 2 colleagues from Janka Kupala State University of Grodno, namely Anna Sasonava. Anna, good morning. Can you hear us? And the second person from the same university would be Irina Korlyukova. Irina, can you hear us?
Yes, I am Irina Korlyukova. I'm from Grodno State University of Janki Kupala.
Hi, Irina.
Hi. I'm teaching maths on 2 faculties. The main faculty is the Faculty of Pre-University Training, where we worked with of exams and Olympiads, and the second faculty is the Faculty of Math and Informatics, and on this faculty I teach math for students from IT specialties, high math. And the main problem may be with which we connected during this year. It is that our school children who want to prepare for testing and for exams half of them want to work in offline variant, and half of them want to work on online. And we need to connect, because we cannot divide the group on two parts and for some period work with group offline and for the second period with online. So we need to connect, and we have such lessons both online and both offline. We have some students at our room, and some students are connected by Zoom or by WebEx, and we need to combine these two variants, and it is too much difficult, because you need to be in two places in the same time. So and math, it is a subject that you need every time to show something, to have an opportunity to write every time, because you need to show the solution for some tasks. And that's why it is some problems, because to prepare the presentation, it is very difficult. It takes much time to prepare the presentation, where the any line appeared in the time which you need, and so on and so on. So I want to have an opportunity to listen how our colleagues from the same specialties like chemistry and maybe biology, how they connect this opportunity to prepare, to study, to teach, because students want to have some new experience and knowledge, but our school children, they want to have the good and excellent even results on the testing, and that's why they try to take all knowledge from you, and you need to teach them how to solve these math problems, and it is online, it is more difficult than offline. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, dear Irina. I think you mentioned also some very important points, namely, what if you have different student preferences on online and offline? In our university, we saw the problem that some students refused to go to online exams. They said, I'm not going to take online exams, but we could not offer them other solutions. And so it also led to a delay of their studies. Yeah? So it's difficult. We found now some solutions in our examination rules. Irina, do you know something about your colleague Anna Sasonova? That if Anna is going to come?
1 second, please. Do you hear me? Something?
Yes, I hear you, Irina, yeah?
Has a high temperature today, and her
Okay.
child, and she is now with the doctor, and then she will connect.
Okay, sure. I hope that she's feeling okay. So I thank you all very much. Thank you for your introduction. As far as I could tell, I mean, the main wish should be to get some new tools, to get some more information on what to consider to do a good job in the online training. And I hope that I will be able to cover this, and also my colleagues Clarissa tomorrow and Natasha on Friday. So I'm going back to my slides now. So here, I hope you can see the slides again. Now, I'm coming to the first part now. Yeah, the first part would be how to teach well in an online scenario. And this part will deal with the following points. I would briefly talk about the role of the teacher in modern higher education. This is a huge topic, and we could discuss it for a long time, but of course, we will only touch upon it briefly. The second point seems to be extremely important, namely course structure and consistency. By the way, dear colleagues, because some of you said you want to have also some theory, I will refer to some theory in my presentation. And in addition, I would kindly ask you that I'm sure you received the syllabus of our training, of this 3 days training. I put in some further literature that you can use if you wish. I found some very interesting and new studies, some publications on how to do a good online teaching. And the second point here on this slide, namely course structure and consistency, is extremely important. That it seems all of our students, they need orientation. They need to know exactly what is going to happen in the course. By the way, this also goes for face-to-face teaching in the classroom, of course. But in the classroom, it's easier to kind of communicate with the students. It's more difficult in an online setting. So you need to have very specific, very clear, and very detailed information to the students that you explain to them what exactly is going to happen. Yeah. So the course structure is very important. The third point here, what I call the quantity trap, is what I mentioned earlier, the relationship between quality and quantity in teaching. How much content do we have to bring across? And then, as you know, and everybody has experienced that in the last year, that if we have to teach completely online, we lose the face-to-face interaction. We also lose the nonverbal communication. Now that I'm speaking, I'm sitting in my office alone. I'm looking out of the window and the weather is terrible in Austria. I hope, well, we heard that in Georgia you at least have nice weather. That's good. We don't have that here. And also I miss out on seeing your faces. So I cannot tell what you think at the moment. Of course, I could not even tell if we would be in the same room, but I could see how you look like. And then actually this loss on the personal interaction is a big problem in all kind of communication, and teaching is about communicating with our students. So how can we mitigate this loss? To mitigate the loss means how to use other possibilities to interact, to realize how our students are feeling, how the information that we provide for them is arriving with them. So we need to find other ways to put an emphasis on dialogue and interaction. And I will try to also use some of the tools here in this workshop today. And then also a most important topic is how to keep the attention. Here, my main message to you will be try to have a mix of different methods. Yeah? Our students, actually in my university, our students, they created their own survey on online teaching. In November, we had a conference and there was also a presentation by students. And the students said the biggest problem is that many lecturers, they have a lecture of many hours and they speak all the time. It's a monologue for many hours. And this, of course, leads to actually attention loss of the students. Yeah? So we have to make sure that we have a mix of different methods. We have to encourage students to be active. So we have to, in a way, create a trustful atmosphere. Yeah. And also have to, well, if possible, have some fun with the students. Also, certainly this is not so easy in an online setting, but it's possible. And then we should try to provide lots of feedback to the students, if possible, sometimes individually, but that depends on the number of students that you have in the classroom. Yeah? If you have many students, I would recommend that you often meet with some of them in smaller groups, smaller meaning 3, 4, 5, 6 students, and that you have some group feedback sessions with them so that they feel appreciated with the efforts that they make. So this is the first part. So the role of the teacher. Yeah. In past centuries, the teacher used to be a wisdom bringer because we used to give them the content. But now that they can find the content online, and also we upload our presentations, we upload literature, and we have to make sure that the students read and understand the content. And so our role is more the role of a facilitator, of a coach or mentor and supervisor. And ideally, we should be a role model where the students can seek and get advice. So I would also recommend in times when we cannot personally meet our students, that we have office hours, that our students can come, and that we sometimes that we schedule meetings with the students so that they have the feeling that we give them structure. What we found is in education, in an online setting, that students need structure. The structure is on the one hand our classes, our lectures, where they have to attend, but in addition, when they do the self-study, we also have to give them a structure for the self-study. It's one of the important skills of the students that they do self-organization, but especially if they start their studies, if they are in the first year of studies, we have to guide them. We have to take them a little bit by their hand, and giving them a structure would also be that we have at least maybe 1 hour in each week where we do student consultations and students counseling. Yeah, so this is very essential. What about the course structure? In the literature that I came across, and again, I refer to the syllabus and you should have a look at the literature, I found a very interesting paper. And in this paper, the author said instructors should scaffold learning activities. You probably know the term scaffolding. It means that you provide a kind of physical structure. Actually, the term comes from building, from construction industry. It means to support the learning process of the student, to create a structure, to manage the expectations of the students and provide guidance. Yeah. So here on this slide, on point number B, I put some suggestions. Of course, dear colleagues, this is completely up to you how you integrate them, but according also from, first of all, from the theory that I consulted, and also from my own experience, it's essential that you create a very clear agenda for each session. That means when you start an online lecture, you have one slide or you put it into the chat. What is the agenda for this session? And the agenda should be very clear, and then you follow constantly the agenda. It's also nice, if you can, that you are present and available online, even a little bit before the lecture, maybe shortly after the lecture, and also on specific time in asynchronous courses. Yeah? If you have a course where the students study asynchronous, and asynchronous means each student studies at the time when they can afford it, that you still are present maybe even more than if you were in a face-to-face teaching, that you connect at least once a day with them. I know it's actually a lot of work. That's what I also said earlier. We all experienced that online teaching requires a lot of work, and we have to make it clear to our university management that this is a huge investment and it must be recognized by the university management. I hope that actually in the PRINTeL project, I think we will have another conference in May, and they want to have a final conference in September of this year. Maybe it will be possible that we meet in person. I would really be happy. And then also we should invite the university management representatives so that they appreciate and acknowledge our huge efforts as teachers in designing online courses. Also, what I find is essential that we appear human and authentic as a teacher. Yeah, of course, as a teacher, we are not the friends of our students. This is not the issue. Also, at least me, I come from a different generation. Yeah, my students, they are like the same age as my children, but we are on a professional basis. It's still a professional basis. But then also what I find is important that we also share a little bit about our personality so that we can, even in an online setting, we can be a little close to the students. For example, when I teach business law, this is my subject, I also sometimes tell the students some anecdotes from my own professional experience when I worked in a law firm. I tell them how I was doing cases with companies. And so it refreshes the whole course, and it provides some also authenticity for my students. Now, about the quantity trap, yeah? I think each teacher believes that their subject is the most important and most exciting subject, but we have to recognize that in the study program they have many subjects. And we should make sure that students do not get completely lost in this huge amount of details. And so the solution is actually, dear colleagues, less is more. We should focus on the essential methods and not the small details. Yeah, I also tell that to my colleagues. Often we have a discussion on that because my colleagues say, but we have to make sure that the students know all the details. They know it when they go out into the professional field. And I tell them, consider that many details, they are easily forgotten. Yeah, so try to focus on the main milestones. And I will also show you a slide later on with the attention drop. And so we have to consider that if we swap too much of detailed information on the students, they will not be able to absorb it. Yeah, because the human brain can only absorb a certain amount of details. And in an online setting, we're all actually the nonverbal communication gets lost, where we also don't have the personal feeling, then it's even more difficult to bring things across. Now, we have to foster dialogue and interaction to achieve a deeper level of competencies and skills. And we should try that students should also apply the knowledge and theory. I know that some of you come from natural science, and I understand in natural science it's even more difficult because usually you have labs where your students, they use certain instruments, they use certain tools, and it's more difficult to do that offline. I know from my son, who is a student of physics, that some of the professors, they were doing videos, and then the students could watch the videos, and then the students could also connect with the professor and discuss certain parts of the video. It's not the same as if you're really handling the subject, I know, but at least you can come close to the real experience. Yeah. And if you have large groups, I recommend using tools such as Kahoot and Mentimeter. I'm going to use Mentimeter myself in this workshop later on to get also you engaged a little bit more, dear colleagues. I think from our workshop in November of 2018, I think you also saw Kahoot and Mentimeter. So this would be possibilities to interact. And as I said earlier, we have to also use a certain, I would say, incentives, giving points for participation so that students do more and engage also in the peer groups. Now, another problem is actually the problem of the dilemma of limited attention. And there are some studies, and I'm going to show the slide in a minute, by Lloyd. Lloyd was doing a study, a research on how long can people be attentive. And it's usually only about 15 minutes. It's not long. And even if there is a very good speech, the attention would drop very, very shortly. This is actually happening even in face-to-face courses, but even more in an online scenario. And here is the slide that you can see. It's, I'm sorry, the title is in German. Aufmerksamkeitskurve would be like the attention curve. And you see there is a rapid drop after 15 minutes approximately. Yeah. And you see that, yeah, I assume, dear colleagues, actually, I have been speaking for too long already now, I know that. But this is actually a topic that we find, and we have to cope with it. We have to switch to a different method. This is what actually the solution would be, that we do not speak for more than 15 or 20 minutes. We should encourage our students to be online. And here is actually a list of things that you should not do. Yeah, so it's actually the flipped point. These are obstacles. These are things that are actually not good in an online teaching. One of them is if you have no clear instruction of what's going on, so the student is lost in the course. Also, sometimes if you are having a too high threshold, meaning that it's too difficult for the students, because it's also one of the key, I would say, principles in teaching. Try to find out where your students stand and take them from where they are. Yeah, don't enter in a too high threshold. Sometimes students are feeling uncomfortable in the group, but this is actually even difficult to realize when you only have them online. Yeah. Then sometimes it's important that you have individual consultation and ask the students, how do you feel in the group? And what can I do as a teacher that you would feel more comfortable in the group? Yeah. Sometimes students have a lack of motivation. Well, they have to motivate themselves, but you could try to make it more applicable. Yeah. In my experience also, if I feel that students are not so motivated, I tell them, why is that topic important for your future profession? So addressing the why. Why do you need this? And how can you use it? How can you apply it? Yeah. So to move from a very theoretical level to a more applied level, it can help. Yeah. Certainly, sometimes students have a lack of skills to express themselves, but then again, being very encouraging may help the students to be more interactive. Yeah, and then providing feedback to the students, ideally, should be very constructive and subject-oriented. This is, I would say, obvious. This also goes for face-to-face interaction. And the last point here on this slide would be that you provide the feedback in due course, meaning early, as soon as possible. Because if a student does a mistake today and you tell him 2 months later, obviously it's too late. Yeah, I know, again, this is a big actually issue for teachers because we have many students and we have many courses. Yeah. Still, I would say that when I teach, I try to make some notes and especially realize which students have been completely inactive. And then I try to reach out to them individually, yeah, to ask them what's going on, and ask them not in a sense of an accusation, but of course they would sometimes take that as an accusation, but I try to be accommodating and ask them if they can support them in their learning process. Okay, now here we are at the end of the first part, dear colleagues. Namely, I would now ask you to form groups. You should be able to do that on Teams, actually, that you form a team. I have not pre-designed the teams because I would rather allow or encourage you that you form the teams as you like. But ideally, I think the groups should be mixed in terms of universities, gender, and also fields of expertise. But maybe it's also good that you form groups in the same fields of expertise, those colleagues who come maybe from humanities, from natural sciences. And I would especially ask you now that you discuss the issues that are presented now. Some of you said, when I asked you to share your expectations on the workshops, that you want to identify solutions to the problems that exist. And I tried to address some of the problems, and I tried to present some possible solutions, some suggestions. And I would really be very curious, because I know everybody here has gained a lot of experience in the last year, that you highlight which of these topics that I mentioned are most relevant to you, and maybe which are problems that I have not mentioned, but you find most relevant. Yeah. And I would say on my computer, it says it's 10:14. So maybe could you please now